When you're ready.
Welcome to another NKPC video. Sorry about the hair, well, quarantine, what can I say? Right, today we're just going to do a bit of a food video. We're going to bring in our Gordon Ramsay, Jamie Oliver. I'm not doing Heston Blumenthal because I'm not that good. We're going to do sort of a pesto pasta, hopefully made with peas. I haven't actually checked whether we've got peas. This is was actually thought of by Jamie Oliver, but I'm just trying it out. I'm also doing a quinoa salad with coronation chicken. We tend to, like I say, do a sort of meals for the week, just save us doing it in the week, particularly when we're at work. Obviously we're at home at the moment, but it just saves us that little bit of time. I will pre-warn you right now, I don't follow recipes to the nose, so I make up as I go along, so I'll leave a rough guide in the video, but it's a rough guide. Yeah, it's flavours that you can just play with. So, get inventive. And yeah, I'm going to give you a few tips on what makes my life easier around the kitchen as well. In the pot that you've just seen, that one there, it's just some couscous mixed with some gravy granules. I use that a lot of the time instead of chicken stock because it's easier to get a bigger pot of it. I'm just lazy. Yeah, so that's going in with the quinoa because we didn't quite have enough quinoa, but they go together quite well because they're both sort of grains. Both really healthy, both quite minimal in calories. The quinoa is slightly higher. I think quinoa's, yeah, got another sort of 50 on it, whereas the couscous you get a lot of volume, so if you're on a diet, really good for that, because that means keep you fuller for longer, and also get rid of all your hunger, because no one wants to be hungry when they're on a diet, do they? But it's part and parcel of being on a diet, so grow up, deal with it. Anyway, yeah, so that's that. And now we're going to just chop some onions to go in both the dishes to get some lime chopped for going into the pesto. Yeah. One massive tip I'd give you, particularly for those that have lower dexterous ability, hand ability, we're going to go with that. It's best advice I would give you is get a sharp knife. Make sure they're sharp all the time. Just makes your life easier. Means it won't strain you or anything like that. Plus, I have a pet hate for sharp knives, for blunt knives. So, yeah, make sure your knives are sharp.
Spice rack back here.
It's mainly because my mum doesn't like me using her spices, so I have to go out and get my own. Sharing isn't caring in my family, apparently. Anyway, so in this sauce, it's really basic. I had to rethink of how I normally make coronation sauce, or coronation chicken marinade, whatever you want to call it. It's literally just curry powder and honey at the moment. I'm playing around with it because this one I actually want to do, I'd say, more of a marinade than I normally do as a sauce, so there'll normally be mayo involved. Now, if you normally stick mayo and then you get it hot, it might split and it's never good, so we're going to go with this. It should still be fine. Hopefully it's good. I haven't had any problems with my cooking yet, so we'll see. Yeah, my legs gave up there. Yeah, and then we're going to do the pesto. We're just going to get rolling. To be honest, where I'm filming this, I'm a bit lost because I don't normally have to explain everything, but I'm doing it for you guys. So yeah, anyway, let's crack on. Cool.
Key thing, guys, clean as you go.
But
Makes life 10 times easier.
That's what Gina's here for. Gina mainly does most of the tidying up. I do most of the cooking.
I'm the sous chef.
Yeah.
Right. Parmesan, yes?
Yes. Parmesan, so for this one, what Gina's about to do, if I sit down, sorry if that's a bit shaky. For this one, it's just So she's literally just grating some parmesan to then go with the peas that we've got cooking over there. To make sort of a version of pesto. This is a real sort of lockdown recipe that I picked up from Jamie Oliver. I don't know whether you've watched his new series, so I'm sort of playing around with that. It just gave me an idea, make my life a little easier. And also, I forgot to get pesto when we were at the shop yesterday, so yeah. But yeah, that's what we're up to at the moment.
I don't know if we've got parmesan.
If we haven't got parmesan, we'll just use cheddar. You normally have parmesan?
No.
On the top. I think that's another version of parmesan. Let me taste it before you do anything with it.
Parmigiano Reggiano.
I think that'll be. Let me just take that. Hold that. In which case, it saves you a job.
Yeah, it's already grated. This is the content you signed up for. Charlie tasting cheese.
I can't really get to it. Can I borrow a hand? Because I can't supinate.
Never mind.
So, in there is just some onions, just frying off. This is to go in the pesto. There are going to be onions in both dishes, so if you don't like onions, just swap it around. Yeah, so this is just literally to give it a little bit more of a sweetness. Raw onion isn't really the one normally, particularly white onion. I like raw red onion. Gina doesn't like onion, so we have to get.
Hey, I like onion now. I've expanded my palate. We've also got peas just resting in where we've got the quinoa boiling, just to soften them up, ready for the pesto. And yeah.
So in the pesto, I'll show you as I go, but there's parmesan, lime, mixed herbs, onions, peas, and it created sort of a pea pesto sort of thing.
And did you want the spinach as well?
Yep, so we're going to stick some of that in, but not going to stick too much in because spinach holds a lot of water and you don't want it too mushy.
Okay, let's go.
So, as Gina mentioned, if you can hear me over the frying, there's just some frozen peas here. Nothing too fancy. This one's a really simple recipe. Then I'm going to put parmesan in there to get you that cheesy flavour. Might even put a little bit of olive oil in here just to give you that sort of silkiness. There's also going to be some spinach going in, garlic, you know, all the good Italian shit. So in here, parmesan wise, at the moment, as I say, I taste a lot as I go. There's probably about, I'd say about 14-30 grams. You don't need too much parmesan. Parmesan's actually a really good one for lots of flavour and not a lot, so that way you don't gain too many calories. But yeah, as I say, I'm just crushing it as I go. You're looking for sort of a rustic sort of texture, just to give you a bit of a bite to it. As I say, I'm also making this up mostly as I go myself, so you'll see a lot of me tasting it and seeing what's going on. Right. Also, we're going to, as I say, mix some herbs in there and a bit of garlic, just to give you a bit of more oomph.
I'm just going to grab this and I'll start chopping the chicken. You don't need to watch me chopping chicken, I'll just chop it.
Yeah, I'm not very good at chopping chicken purely because I have to wheel around our kitchen and you just end up getting salmonella everywhere. So, that's why she gets that job.
She?
Gina, my sous chef. Also, in the pan as well that you saw.
Alexa, stop.
In the pan that you saw earlier, I've just stuck some pine nuts in there. They're just roasting off. They're going to go in here as well, just to give it a bit more oomph. The thing is with pesto, you've got to try and get as much flavour as you can. Gina's a massive fan of Italian flavours, so we tend to try and do an Italian dish every now and again, mostly sort of every month or so. Because mostly in my house, my parents do the cook. Well, I say my parents, my mum does the cooking. So I just tend to do more of our lunches, although I really enjoy cooking and do enjoy when they go out and I get the chance to sort of experiment with different stuff. Right, let's go see how those onions are getting on. Yeah, the onions are frying off nicely, so is the pine nuts. I'm just using some extra virgin olive oil spray because I don't tend to like using too much oil because one, being a fitness freak, you try and save the calories where you can. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that in here.
Do you want the carrots boiled for a little bit to soften them?
Yes, please. So having just tasted it, I'm going to stick in a little bit more cheese. I'm also then going to stick in some salt and pepper. Really important, guys, make sure you season your food. A lot of people skip that step.
Sorry if the sound's a little bit annoying. The kettle is boiling. Can't do a lot about it, I'm afraid.
Right, so in there, I'd say probably another 20 grams. And then we're going to go in with some salt. Not too much, because there will be salt in the cheese. Most cheeses are quite high in salt. But yeah. And we're going to go there.
Nice little bits. If you haven't got a pestle and mortar,
just use a pan and
a rolling pin,
yeah.
At the end of a rolling pin, and just get a big bowl or a pan.
Preferably a metal bowl if you've got one, just because that way you won't damage it. There's loads of different ways you can do it. Or just throw it at a sibling's head.
Throw it at what?
At a sibling's head.
Luckily for your sibling, she is not here.
And also she's like able to run away, whereas I'm not, so yeah. The true test of this will be Gina's taste test, because she doesn't like peas. So
I don't dislike peas. I don't know, like they're not my favourite. They're a bit I don't know. I think it's more the texture of them. I feel like in this they'll be okay.
So in there it's just going, if I can find that label, some fresh spinach. I'm a big advocate for loads of veggies in your food, purely because I was brought up with a lot of fresh cooking. I was very lucky as a kid, so I love testing out different things, hence why I'm making this video right now. But yeah, don't be afraid to sort of try different things out and see what works. Everyone has different tastes. Like I do better with Asian flavours than a lot of other flavours. Don't know why, but I do. I'm making a right mess of this. Yeah.
Do you need a bigger bowl and a topping the rolling pin?
We should be alright, we should be fine, because it's the last little bit anyway. Got the last bit I'm going to stick in, just a bit of lime, just to freshen it up a little bit. If I can get it, let's go. Right, we're then going to mix that in, mix those last little herbs in, and then gotta get up. There you go. Yeah, my kitchen isn't adapted kitchen. It is literally just a standard kitchen. It's just I use my wheelchair and I'm able to stand at the sides, so works for me. Although legs get a little bit of a workout, but it's not necessarily a bad thing, is it?
In our dream kitchen, we would have one either lowerable or just lower worktop and one lower hob, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
The hob would probably be best to be adjustable, because then we can just have one where if Charlie's using it he can lower it, if I'm using it I can have it higher. But I think they're the main things that we want lower.
Yeah.
Because the thing is with having lower is that you lose that
Storage space
underneath. Obviously if it's essential, it's essential. You know, it's more important to actually have the ability to cook than it is to have the ability to store stuff. But where Charlie has got the ability to lean.
Do you want to try that? Made a right mess.
You always do make a right mess, that's why I'm the sous chef and tidy up after you. I mean, it looks amazing. Get a bit of everything in there. Ah!
Alexa, stop.
That's amazing. That's really nice. That's really nice.
A win! Ding ding ding, round one. Next up for me is probably cooking the chicken. So first things first, I've got to do the pesto's chicken, which is slightly different because obviously the quinoa one is going to be marinated, so I need to do that last. Then there we've just got chicken frying off with some mixed herbs, some of the pesto, a little bit of olive oil. Chicken. It gives it a little bit more of a nice taste. Then in this one we've got some onions frying off, ready for the coronation chicken one. Again, all made up. These are just flavours that I like playing with. Plus Gina asked me every so often to make different dishes. So yeah, little tip that I learnt from Jamie Oliver this week. Starchy water when it comes to sauces is a godsend. Never tried it, but I'm going to give it a go today and see how it goes. Yeah, cooking with Charlie. So in here I'm just adding a little bit more, I can't remember whether this is filming, but I'm adding a little bit more curry powder just because I didn't quite make enough sauce when I made the original sauce. So this is more just to coat the chicken. You don't need a lot of it, it's quite strong, so yeah. Pasta's blipping away nicely.
Let's appreciate by chopping all of that kale and spinach, not all of it obviously, it's so much more manageable and it's not going to jump out of the pan when we put it in there.
More water in there.
In there? Okay.
So the pasta should be on for about, I think it's actually been on about 7 minutes so far. Really you want to aim sort of for 10 minutes with pasta, or I do.
Key point, especially in current situation, freeze. Use your freezer. You might think fresh kale and spinach, no, don't freeze it, it will go horrible. It doesn't, it's absolutely fine. When you get it out, it's obviously when the ice melts, it goes a bit wilted, but obviously it's going to do that anyway when you put it in the dish. So it is absolutely fine. We freeze it because we don't use a whole bag for our meals, and what's the point in throwing it away? Done.
And then that's done.
What did you say? All of it?
Yep. Just give it a bit of a stir up.
Oh, it's hot.
Chicken. So I'm just adding in the rest of my mixture. Gina, can you just add a tiny bit of water to that? Because there's a lot stuck to the bottom.
Yeah.
So again, in that sauce is usually just curry powder and some honey mixed with some water. Keep your flavours basic, and then just, as Gina said, build on them as you go. Also, people have different palates. I've got a friend who everything he likes, well, not everything, most things he likes is really spicy. I'm not a fan of spicy food, so I tend to do more mild stuff. I'd say I'm a big advocate of Asian flavours, although we're mixing it up this week. So that's just going to bubble away till the sauce is thickened slightly. I might end up having to add a little bit of corn flour to it, just to thicken it up.
Just a tiny bit?
About a tablespoon.
Shit.
Again, a little more. There you go, that'll do. And then we're just going to stir that in. I don't tend to do that with my sauces, just this one seems to be struggling to sort of cook down, and we want it as a sauce to go with the couscous, so should help speed the process up a little bit. Right, so these are the finished products. As I say, we're not perfect people for presentation, but I'm more
I mean, the lunches are everywhere, obviously we've done more than 2.
I'm more about flavour. If I had to do a rough guess, you're probably talking 500, 600 calories each, maybe slightly less, particularly with the quinoa one, because as I say, they are slightly lower in calories, but the pesto's got a little bit of cheese in, so that would bring it up slightly, but yeah, I'm more about eat the food you enjoy, that way you can stick to it, so don't really worry too much about the calories, unless of course you are on a diet, then you've got to worry about it. Again, obviously for me, at the moment where I'm not in the gym, I'm not bulking, I'm not cutting, I'm just doing, so we're just eating as we go. Yeah, hopefully this gave you a bit more of an idea of what you can sort of do with food and flavours. As I say, just be inventive, just create, particularly because that way you'll find different things that you enjoy the most. But yeah.
Right, 1 second. So just to clarify, we literally threw everything basically together. So the chicken that was cooked in the pesto went in here, the rest of the pesto, and then the pasta with the spinach and the kale in it, and then I threw a little bit of carrot in there just to give it a little bit of the additional veg. And then this one, we got the chicken that was marinated and cooked. We threw the carrot in there, threw a little bit of mixed veg just to bulk it out a little bit, the frozen mixed veg. Obviously, if you are on a budget or you struggle for time, mixed veg is always an option. And then we just mixed it all together with the quinoa and the couscous. And yeah, simple as that.
Yeah, hopefully it gave you a bit more of an idea of what to do in the kitchen, how I sort of operate in the kitchen. As I say, I mostly use my wheelchair to get around and lean against the sides. So takeaways are, make sure your knives are always sharp, have a good sous chef, and also enjoy it and create different stuff. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully it's going to give you a few ideas while we're in quarantine. Maybe get creative in the kitchen. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, and comment. Let me know if you want to see more. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.
Marmite was not impressed.
Nope.